And something really important just happened as Ellie was laying all of that out for us, which is that as soon as Donald Trump and his attorneys got in the courtroom, the judge corrected what Donald Trump falsely asserted yesterday when he left the courtroom, which is that because of the gag order that's in place, it prevents him from testifying, something that Todd Blanche, Trump's attorney, shook his head in affirmation at as Trump said that. And when Trump entered the courtroom this morning, the judge said, no, it doesn't. It doesn't prevent you from testifying.
Yeah, this was fascinating because this is the first time we've seen the judge respond really to something that Trump has said outside the court when he addresses the media, and he's clearly correcting the record. He said, no, this gag order does not prevent you from testifying. And we know that since the gag order has been in place, Trump has also repeatedly said that it's possible that he might testify.
Okay, so Trump literally got threatened with removal from a courtroom, and Trump got his appeals destroyed. And Trump had to pay nearly $1 million in sanctions, all in a matter of weeks. Trump walked into a federal courtroom. Judge Lewis Kaplan told Trump to stop talking. Trump kept muttering things. Judge Kaplan warned Trump that Trump could be thrown out. Trump was basically told that if Trump kept disrupting the courtroom, Trump was going to be removed. Trump was going to be kicked out of his own trial. A federal judge threatened to drag Trump out of the courtroom for misbehavior. That's insane. That's unprecedented. That's never happened to a president before. But before we go any further, real quick, let's be honest. You can't really trust mainstream media anymore. That's why we built Pump Politics, to bring you real stories, real context, and no corporate spin. If you want to stay ahead of the headlines, join our free newsletter. We'll send the news straight to your inbox every day. Just click the link in the description to join. And if you just want to support what we're doing, join us. Be part of the community that actually cares about the truth. All right. Let's get back to the video, and then Trump's appeals started getting rejected. A conservative appeals court panel rejected Trump's case against CNN. Trump wanted $475 million from CNN for calling his claims the big lie. Trump sued. Trump lost. Trump appealed. And the appeals court said, no, you still lose. The appeals court said CNN's language was protected opinion. The appeals court said Trump didn't prove falsity. The appeals court said Trump's case has no merit. And this was a panel that included 2 judges Trump appointed, 2 judges that Trump himself put on the bench. And those judges ruled against Trump. Those judges said Trump loses. And then a few days later, another appeals court panel unanimously upheld nearly $1 million in sanctions against Trump for filing a frivolous lawsuit against Hillary Clinton. Nearly $1 million. That's real money. That's consequences.
The Supreme Court just a few hours ago rejected Donald Trump's emergency request to get involved in the legal fight over the FBI search of Mar-a-Lago. Ken Delanian covers the Justice Department. He joins me now. Ken, this decision by the Supreme Court comes after the Department of Justice weighed in on Tuesday. Bring us up to speed on that.
That's right. This was a resounding defeat, Tom, for Donald Trump and his lawyers. Not unexpected, something many legal experts predicted, but nonetheless, not a single Supreme Court justice found any reason to dissent from this decision that the Supreme Court was denying Donald Trump's appeal here.
That's judges making Trump pay for abusing the courts. And the panel was unanimous. All 3 judges agreed. All 3 judges said Trump's claims were frivolous. All 3 judges said Trump should have to pay. All 3 judges said Trump was abusing judicial resources. So you've got Trump getting threatened with removal from a courtroom. You've got Trump losing appeals. You've got Trump being sanctioned for frivolous litigation. You've got judges crushing Trump. You've got judges humiliating Trump. You've got judges making Trump face consequences. And all of this is happening in public. All of this is documented. All of this is on the record. This is Trump being dragged by the courts. This is Trump losing control of his own legal narrative. This is judges saying enough and making Trump pay the price. Come on, this is massive. Okay, let me walk you through exactly what happened in the E. Jean Carroll trial, because you need to understand how a federal judge literally threatened to throw Trump out of a courtroom. Trump was sitting at the counsel table. Carroll was testifying. Carroll was describing what she said Trump did to her, and Trump couldn't keep his mouth shut. Trump was muttering comments. Trump was saying things loud enough for people to hear. Trump was calling the case a witch hunt. Trump was calling it a con job. Trump was making comments from the counsel table while Carroll was testifying. And Judge Lewis Kaplan noticed. Kaplan heard Trump. Kaplan realized that Trump was being disruptive. Kaplan realized that Trump's comments might be reaching the jury. Kaplan realized that Trump was violating courtroom rules. And Kaplan looked at Trump and basically said, this has to stop. Kaplan told Trump that Trump's right to be present in the courtroom could be forfeited. Kaplan told Trump that Trump might be excluded from the trial. Kaplan told Trump that if Trump kept being disruptive, if Trump kept making loud comments, Trump was going to be thrown out. Now think about what that means. Think about a federal judge telling the former president that the former president might be removed from the courtroom. Think about Trump being threatened with ejection for misbehavior. Think about the president being treated like a regular defendant who has to follow courtroom rules. That's unprecedented. That's never happened before. That's a breaking of a norm that shows how serious the situation has become. And Trump's response was telling. Trump said he would love to be removed. Trump said he wanted to be thrown out. Trump was basically trying to turn it into a spectacle. Trump was basically saying, I'm being persecuted. Look how they're treating me. Trump was trying to make it about Trump being a victim instead of about Trump's misconduct. But the bottom line is that a federal judge threatened to remove Trump from the courtroom, and that threat was real. That threat was serious. That threat showed judges are losing patience with Trump's behavior. Now let's talk about the CNN case, because that one is important for understanding how Trump is losing on the merits. Trump sued CNN for $475 million. Trump claimed that CNN calling his election claims the big lie was defamation. Trump claimed that CNN said something false about Trump. Trump wanted to win the lawsuit and get $475 million from CNN. That would have been massive. That would have devastated CNN. That would have been a huge victory for Trump. But CNN won. The trial court ruled for CNN. The trial court said Trump didn't prove that CNN said anything false. The trial court said the big lie terminology is protected opinion. The trial court said Trump loses. And then Trump appealed. Trump went to the appeals court and asked them to reverse the decision. Trump asked them to send the case back for trial. Trump asked them to give Trump another chance. And the appeals court said no. The appeals court upheld the trial court's dismissal. The appeals court said Trump's case lacks merit. The appeals court said Trump loses. And here's what's important about the panel that decided the case. The panel included 2 judges that Trump appointed. Trump appointed those judges to the bench. Trump thought those judges would help Trump. Trump thought those judges would be loyal to Trump. Trump thought those judges would rule in Trump's favor. But those judges looked at Trump's case and said it's frivolous. Those judges looked at the legal arguments and said they have no merit. Those judges ruled against Trump despite being Trump appointees. That's significant. That shows that even judges Trump appointed are not going to let Trump win frivolous cases. Even Trump judges are not going to violate the law to help Trump. Even Trump judges are saying Trump is wrong. And that destroys Trump's ability to claim the system is rigged. Trump can't say the judges are biased when judges Trump appointed are ruling against Trump. Now let's talk about the Clinton lawsuit sanctions, because that one is about judges making Trump pay for abusing the courts. Trump filed a lawsuit against Hillary Clinton and James Comey and the DNC. Trump's lawsuit included all kinds of claims, RICO claims, malicious prosecution claims, trade secret claims, but the claims didn't work. The trial court found that Trump's lawsuit was frivolous. The trial court found that Trump's claims violated the basic legal requirements. The trial court found that Trump's lawyers made knowingly false statements, and the trial court imposed sanctions. Nearly $1 million in sanctions. Trump appealed. Trump said the sanctions were wrong. Trump said the trial court was biased. Trump said Trump shouldn't have to pay, and the appeals court said no. The appeals court unanimously upheld the sanctions. All 3 judges agreed. All 3 judges said the lawsuit was frivolous. All 3 judges said Trump and his lawyer, Alina Habba, should have to pay. All 3 judges said nearly $1 million in sanctions is appropriate, and the language the appeals court used was harsh. The appeals court said Trump's claims were indeed frivolous. The appeals court called the lawsuit an abuse of judicial resources. The appeals court was essentially saying that Trump was wasting the court's time. The appeals court was saying that Trump was misusing the legal system. The appeals court was saying that Trump deserves to be punished for it. And the punishment is nearly $1 million. Now think about what that money represents. That's not just a fine. That's not just a penalty. That's Trump having to pay the other side's legal fees. That's Trump having to compensate the people Trump sued for the cost of defending themselves against Trump's frivolous lawsuit. That's Trump having to pay because Trump abused the courts. And that's real money. That's money Trump could have used for other things. That's money that's gone because Trump filed a stupid lawsuit. And the thing about these sanctions is that they're upheld by appeals courts. These are not just trial court decisions. These are appellate decisions. Appeals courts have reviewed the sanctions. Appeals courts have agreed that they're appropriate. Appeals courts have unanimously backed the lower court's decision. So these sanctions are locked in. Trump can appeal further, but the Supreme Court is probably not going to reverse sanctions for filing frivolous lawsuits. So this money is likely gone. Trump is likely going to have to pay it. Okay, let me break this down into the three main points that matter about Trump being dragged from court and his appeals being rejected, because this is important for understanding how Trump is losing control in the one arena where Trump can't spin the results. First point, and this is documented from the trial. During the E. Jean Carroll federal defamation trial in January 2024, Trump repeatedly muttered audible comments calling the case a witch hunt and a con job from the counsel table while the jury was present, leading Judge Lewis Kaplan to warn Trump that his right to be present in the courtroom could be forfeited and that Trump might be excluded from the trial if Trump continued disrupting proceedings. This is a federal judge threatening to remove a former president from a courtroom for misbehavior. This is unprecedented. Second point, and this is equally important, on November 18th, 2025, an 11th Circuit Appeals Court panel, including 2 Trump-appointed judges, unanimously rejected Trump's $475 million defamation case against CNN over its use of the term big lie, ruling that the phrase constitutes protected opinion and that Trump failed to demonstrate falsity, leaving Trump with a complete loss on appeal and no damages. So Trump-appointed judges ruled against Trump. Trump's own judges said Trump loses. Trump's case had no merit according to Trump's own judges. Third point, and this is the financial consequence, on November 26, 2025, a separate 11th Circuit panel unanimously upheld nearly $938,000 in sanctions against Trump and Alina Habba for their RICO-style lawsuit against Hillary Clinton, finding that many of their claims were indeed frivolous and calling the lawsuit an abuse of judicial resources, with the court ordering Trump to pay the other side's legal fees for defending against Trump's baseless case. So Trump is paying nearly $1 million for filing a stupid lawsuit. Trump is paying judges to punish Trump for abusing the courts. Now let's talk about what these losses mean for Trump's legal position and for Trump's image. Trump's whole brand is that Trump is a winner. Trump always wins. Trump always gets the better deal. Trump is tough and smart and always comes out on top. But Trump is losing in courts. Trump is losing to judges. Trump is losing on the merits. Trump is being punished by judges. And that destroys the winner image. Think about it. Trump sued CNN for nearly $500 million. Trump wanted to destroy CNN. Trump wanted to show that he could crush his enemies through the courts, but Trump lost. Trump's case was dismissed. Trump got nothing. And judges Trump appointed ruled against Trump. That's not a win. That's a humiliating loss. And the sanctions are even worse. Trump had to pay nearly $1 million for filing a frivolous lawsuit. Trump had to compensate the other side for the cost of defending themselves against Trump's bogus claims. That's not just losing. That's losing and having to pay the other side. That's the ultimate courtroom defeat. That's Trump being forced to pay money because Trump abused the legal system. Now let's talk about the pattern, because this is not an isolated loss. This is part of a larger pattern of Trump losing in courts across the country. Trump keeps filing lawsuits. Trump keeps losing. Trump keeps getting sanctioned. Trump is becoming a cautionary tale in the legal world. Trump is becoming the example of someone who abuses the courts and gets punished for it. Trump's name is going to be synonymous with frivolous litigation. Think about what that does to Trump's ability to file cases in the future. Judges are going to presume that Trump's cases lack merit. Judges are going to start from a position of skepticism toward Trump. Judges are going to be looking for reasons to dismiss Trump's claims. Judges are going to sanction Trump more readily because Trump has a pattern of filing frivolous lawsuits. Trump has damaged Trump's credibility with judges. Trump is now seen as someone who abuses the courts, and that's going to follow Trump forever. And the fact that Trump got threatened with removal from a courtroom is also important. A federal judge said Trump could be thrown out of the courtroom. A federal judge said Trump might be excluded from Trump's own trial. And judges don't threaten lightly. Judges don't make those kinds of threats unless the situation is serious. So Trump was seriously disrupting the courtroom. Trump was seriously misbehaving. And Trump was seriously close to being removed. Now imagine if that had happened. Imagine if Judge Kaplan had actually removed Trump from the courtroom. Imagine if Trump had been forced to sit outside while the trial happened. Imagine if Trump couldn't be present for the trial against Trump. That would have been historic. That would have been unprecedented. That would have been a dramatic moment in American legal history, and it almost happened. Trump came very close to being removed from his own trial. Think about the message that sends. Think about a federal judge being willing to remove Trump from the courtroom. Think about judges not tolerating Trump's behavior. Think about judges having the power and the willingness to enforce courtroom rules against the former president. That's judges saying Trump is not above the rules. That's judges saying Trump has to follow the law like everyone else. That's judges pushing back against Trump. And here's what's also important. Trump's attempts to spin these losses are not working. Trump can't claim the judges are biased when Trump appointed the judges. Trump can't claim the system is rigged when conservative judges are ruling against Trump. Trump can't claim he's being persecuted when judges are just enforcing the law. Trump's excuses don't work anymore. Trump's deflections don't work anymore. Judges are holding Trump accountable for Trump's own conduct. So to bring it all together, Judge Lewis Kaplan threatened to remove Trump from the E. Jean Carroll federal defamation trial after Trump repeatedly muttered audible comments from counsel table, calling the case a witch hunt and a con job while the jury was present. An 11th Circuit Appeals Court panel that included 2 Trump-appointed judges unanimously rejected Trump's $475 million defamation case against CNN on November 18, 2025, ruling that calling his election claims the big lie constitutes protected opinion and that Trump failed to demonstrate falsity. On November 26, 2025, another 11th Circuit panel unanimously upheld nearly $938,000 in sanctions against Trump and Alina Habba for their frivolous RICO lawsuit against Hillary Clinton, with the court calling the lawsuit an abuse of judicial resources and ordering Trump to pay the other side's legal fees. This is Trump being dragged by the courts. This is judges humiliating Trump. This is judges making Trump pay consequences. This is judges refusing to tolerate Trump's misbehavior. This is the judicial system pushing back against a president trying to abuse it. And here's what matters. These are not just losses. These are losses with real consequences. Trump is paying nearly $1 million. Trump is being threatened with removal from courtrooms. Trump is being told that Trump's claims are frivolous. Trump's credibility with judges is destroyed. Trump's ability to file cases in the future is compromised. Trump's image as a winner is shattered. Think about what this does to Trump politically. Think about voters seeing headlines that Trump got threatened with removal from a courtroom. Think about voters seeing that Trump lost his case against CNN. Think about voters seeing that Trump has to pay nearly $1 million in sanctions for filing a stupid lawsuit. That's not helping Trump. That's hurting Trump. That's making Trump look bad. That's making Trump look weak. That's making Trump look like a loser. And Trump can't really defend against it. Trump can't say the judges are wrong because the judge's reasoning is sound. Trump can't say the judges are biased because the judges are Trump appointees. Trump can't claim he's being persecuted because he's just facing consequences for his own conduct. Trump has no good response. Trump just has to accept the losses and move on. Now let's talk about what this means for Trump going forward. Trump is going to continue filing lawsuits. Trump has shown that Trump doesn't learn from losses. Trump doesn't change behavior based on consequences. Trump doubles down. Trump keeps fighting. So Trump is going to file more lawsuits. Trump is going to lose more lawsuits. Trump is going to get sanctioned more. Trump is going to face more judicial consequences. And each loss, each sanction, each judicial rebuke is going to damage Trump a little bit more. Each loss is going to make judges more skeptical of Trump. Each loss is going to make the legal system less receptive to Trump's arguments. Each loss is going to make Trump's legal position weaker. So Trump is on a downward trajectory in the courts. Trump is losing ground. Trump is losing credibility. Trump is losing money, and Trump can't stop it. Think about how this interacts with Trump's other legal problems. Trump is facing impeachment. Trump is facing contempt of court threats. Trump is facing asset seizure. Trump is facing all kinds of legal jeopardy. And now Trump is also losing in civil courts. Trump is losing to judges. Trump is getting sanctioned. Trump is being threatened with removal from courtrooms. Trump is facing legal pressure from multiple directions. And Trump can't fight all of it at the same time. Trump can't win everywhere. Trump is losing some battles. Trump is going to lose more battles. Trump is being squeezed by the legal system from all directions. Trump is trapped. Trump has no good options. Trump just has to keep fighting and keep losing. Here's why this matters for everyone watching this right now. The courts are supposed to be impartial. The courts are supposed to apply the law fairly. The courts are supposed to enforce the rule of law. And that's what they're doing. Judges are applying the law. Judges are enforcing rules. Judges are holding Trump accountable. Judges are not letting Trump win frivolous cases. Judges are not letting Trump abuse the courts. Judges are maintaining the integrity of the legal system. And that's good. That's the system working the way it's supposed to work. That's judges protecting the rule of law. That's judges saying nobody's above the law. That's judges holding even a former president accountable for misconduct in the courts. But here's what's also important. Trump is not accepting it. Trump is not learning from it. Trump is not changing behavior. Trump is going to keep fighting. Trump is going to keep losing. And each loss is going to damage Trump more. Each loss is going to weaken Trump's position. Each loss is going to make Trump look worse. So this is not just about legal losses. This is about Trump's image. This is about Trump's brand. This is about Trump's credibility. Trump is being exposed as someone who loses. Trump is being exposed as someone who files frivolous lawsuits. Trump is being exposed as someone who abuses the courts. Trump is being exposed as someone who disrupts courtrooms and gets warned by judges. That's not the image Trump wants. That's not helping Trump. That's hurting Trump politically and legally. Stay tuned, because Trump is going to file more lawsuits. Trump is going to lose more cases. Trump is going to get sanctioned more. Trump is going to face more judicial consequences. And with each loss, Trump's position gets weaker. With each sanction, Trump's credibility gets worse. With each judicial rebuke, Trump's legal jeopardy increases. This is not the end of Trump's legal troubles. This is just the beginning. This is Trump getting dragged through the courts. This is judges making Trump pay. This is the judiciary saying enough and holding Trump accountable. And this is going to continue. This is going to get worse. This is where Trump's legal future is heading, toward more losses, more sanctions, more humiliation, and eventually real consequences that Trump can't escape.